The Adventures of Lila and the Magical Paintbrush. Once upon a time, in a small, cozy village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a curious and creative little girl named Lila. Lila loved to draw and paint. Her room was filled with colorful pictures of animals, castles, and faraway lands. But there was one problem. Lila always wished her drawings could come to life. One sunny morning, while exploring the attic of her grandmother's house, Lila found an old, dusty wooden box. Inside was a beautiful golden paintbrush with shimmering bristles that sparkled like starlight. As soon as Lila picked it up, the brush began to glow, and a soft, kind voice said, "Hello, Lila. I am the magical paintbrush. Whatever you paint with me will come to life." Lila's eyes widened with excitement. She couldn't wait to try it out. She dipped the brush into a pot of blue paint and drew a small bird on a piece of paper. To her amazement, the bird flapped its wings, chirped happily, and flew off the page, circling around her head before perching on her shoulder. "This is amazing," Lila exclaimed. She spent the whole day painting, a friendly dog to play with, a rainbow that arched across the sky, and even a tiny house made of candy. But as the sun began to set, Lila noticed something strange. The bird she had painted earlier looked tired, and the candy house was starting to melt. The magical creations weren't lasting forever. The paintbrush spoke again. "Lila, magic is wonderful, but it works best when it's used to help others. Try using your gift to bring joy to the village." Lila thought about this and decided to use the paintbrush for good. The next day, she visited the village square, where she saw children looking longingly at a broken swing set. With a few strokes of her brush, she painted a brand new swing set, complete with colorful slides and a merry-go-round. The children cheered and played for hours. Next, she saw an old man struggling to carry firewood. Lila painted a sturdy wheelbarrow to help him. The man smiled and thanked her, his eyes twinkling with gratitude. Word of Lila's magical paintbrush spread quickly, and soon the whole village came to her with their problems. Lila painted warm blankets for the cold, fresh fruit for the hungry, and even a beautiful fountain that brought clean water to the village. Everyone was happy, and Lila felt proud to have made a difference. But one day, a greedy merchant named Mr. Grumble heard about the paintbrush. He wanted it for himself so he could paint piles of gold and jewels. He snuck into Lila's house at night and stole the brush while she was asleep. When Lila woke up and realized the brush was gone, she was heartbroken. But she didn't give up. She followed a trail of glittering paint drops that led her to Mr. Grumble's shop. There, she found him trying to paint a mountain of gold, but the brush wouldn't work for him. It only glowed faintly and whispered, "Magic must come from the heart." Lila stepped forward and said, "Mr. Grumble, the paintbrush isn't meant for greed. It's meant to help others." Mr. Grumble frowned but then sighed. He realized he had been selfish and handed the brush back to Lila. "I'm sorry," he said. "I see now that true happiness comes from sharing, not taking." Lila smiled and painted him a small garden filled with flowers and fruit trees. Mr. Grumble was so touched that he decided to give away his wealth to help the village. From that day on, Lila used the magical paintbrush wisely, always thinking of ways to make the world a better place. And the village? It became the happiest, most colorful place in the world, all thanks to a little girl with a big heart and a magical gift. The end.